Snoods up! Hey there and welcome to the Totally Fierce Crochet channel. My name's Thomas and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make yourself such a super fabulous snood. If you don't know what a snood is, it's basically an extended version of a cowl. You wear it around your neck and it is long enough to even put it over your head. And during my holidays I created this super extra beautiful snood and I thought this looks absolutely amazing. I have to show it to you as well in a tutorial. So besides my mountain snood, now I also have a Halloween snood. And of course, it not only keeps your neck warm, you can put it up, you can put it down, you can even cover your face if the wind is too strong. And then of course, wear it like this. And you can even put the hood over it to keep your head super warm during winter time. And honestly, now is the best time to make yourself a snood. So this snood is made with Tunisian crochet, but don't worry, it's super easy because it's just a 1-row repeat. And we are going to work in the flat, but then joining in the round on the go. Sounds more complicated than it is, and in the end you will have such a beautiful textured, very knit-like structured snood that is super stretchy. The texture is absolutely amazing. It looks like knitting even though it's not. It's called the Tunisian rib stitch or saloniki stitch and it's absolutely amazing. Again, 1-row repeat and you get such a beautiful piece that will make everyone super jelly. But before we start, I have to warn you, since I'm making this tutorial with this Halloween yarn, there will be some parts with black yarn. And it was super hard to see, but I hope you can see it. If not, just tell me, I will make a separate tutorial with this beautiful stitch so you can see everything. So are you ready to make yourself a fabulous snood? Let's go! And here's what you need if you want to make yourself a ribbed snood. First up, the yarn. I used the Hobbii Horizon yarn for my test piece and I couldn't stop because I absolutely love the yarn. And then I was thinking that it's October, it's time for Halloween, and out of the sudden I remembered that I still had this big cake of Halloween Horizon from last year that I didn't use, or I used it but then frogged it, which is why it looks a bit weird here. It has like the orange and the green and the black, so I will in the end have like beautiful stripes like I had in my test piece. So this is my yarn of choice for this project. Let's see, in the bag it says 5mm crochet hook. It's 200 grams. It's quite a lot of yarn, 550 meters, and I'm going to use the whole skein of yarn for the entire project. So when the yarn is over, the snood is done, which is of course perfect, so no leftovers or anything. And feel free to use it as well. They have beautiful Halloween yarns during Halloween. They also have beautiful Christmas yarns. And in general, the Horizon yarn is one of my favorite yarns because it feels absolutely beautiful and it works just like with butter. It's super soft. It goes super fast. So try it out. For the hook, there will be 2 parts, the beginning and the end. I will do with a regular crochet hook and I'm going to use a 5mm crochet hook, just like it was recommended also on the label. Once we switch to Tunisian crochet, I'm going to use a 6mm Tunisian crochet hook with a cable. For this project, it's important to have a Tunisian crochet hook with a cable because of the way how we are going to join each round, so we can basically work in the round even though we are still working in the flat, but you will see that in a minute. Then of course the scissors, the yarn needle, and what's super helpful for this project is to have at least 1 stitch marker to always know where the round ended, or when we go back to start the return pass, I will just place this in the end. And with that, we are good to go. So first I'm going to start with the crochet hook, the 5mm crochet hook. And I will just take out a bit of yarn to start my first row, and this is going to be an I-cord of 90 stitches. So if you want to calculate how much yarn do you need, you can wrap the yarn around your neck 4 times, and then you will have the amount of yarn that we should take to the side for the I-cord. In my case, that's about this. And now I start with a slip knot first. Of course, you can start with a chain, but you know me, I prefer the I-cord. So first we are going to make an I-cord of 90 stitches. To do the I-cord, take the yarn that you took to the side and wrap it around from the front, and then take the yarn that goes to your yarn ball and wrap it around from the back, and then pull that last loop through the 2 loops on your hook to create your first I-cord element. Then again, the yarn from the front and then the other yarn from the back and pull it through. Now I have 2. Let's make 88 more, so in the end we have 90 I-cord stitches. And here we go, 90 I-cord stitches. I will now make sure that my I-cord isn't twisted. I will take the yarn end to the front and the working yarn to the back, and now I will just see that it is all straight like that. And now, before we start anything with Tunisian crochet, I'm going to make a little foundation round, basically, in terms of strengthening the border for my snood, but also preventing a little bit the curling from the Tunisian crochet. And as you can see here, I have in the bottom the pretty V stitches, and right on top there's another line of V stitches, and we are going to work now in those front loops. It's a bit tricky to explain. Here we have the stitches, here there's the next stitch on top, and we are all only going to work in this top loop right here, which technically is the front loop of the next V stitch, basically. But of course I will show you. First up, to connect it, I'm going to release my loop from the hook. Then I take my hook from the back into this first stitch. I will now take the loop up there and pull it through to connect it. And now I will just make single crochets always in this same top loop, and for that I go in the same stitch again, yarn over, pull it through, 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through both of them. Then in the next loop, single crochet, and we do this all the way. In the end you should have 90 single crochets, and after that we can start with the Tunisian foundation round. And here's how it looks. It creates this sort of a beautiful little border that is still super stretchy. And now we are basically good to go to draw up our loops for the Tunisian crochet. So for that case, I'm going to take out my crochet hook and take the Tunisian one. And to attach the first loop, I'm going in here in the back loop only, and I will just take that loop and pull it through to connect it. So here's my very first loop, and now we are just going from back loop to back loop, yarn over, pull it through, loop by loop until we have 90 loops on the hook. And here we go. This is how it looks, all 90 loops on my crochet hook, or my Tunisian crochet hook. And now we don't do anything. We don't connect anything to the stitches in the beginning, because now we can do a return pass, a regular Tunisian crochet return pass. And for that, I'm going to yarn over and pull through just one loop. And this is also where I'm going to place my stitch marker in this very last stitch right here on the side. So I can find it easier when we start the next round and then connect it. And then yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, until we reach our very first loop from the round. And this is where I'll meet you. And here we go, the last one. Unfortunately, it also switched to black, which is of course a bit tricky to see, but we can make it. If it's a little bit too hard to see, then I will show you later on once I go back to green, possibly. So our first round is done, the foundation row, and as you can see, you always have those vertical bars that you can see beautifully here now with the black yarn coming in. And now we can start actually finally with the crochet rib stitch, the saloniki stitch. And to now connect our piece, this is why I also had the stitch marker here, I'm going to release the loop, and I'm going from the front into that marked stitch here on the side, pick up the loop again, pull the loop through, and like that we can immediately start with the next round. And don't get confused here, this first one was actually our very first stitch, our border stitch right here, and we just pushed it through the 2 loops here on the side. So nothing to worry about. We can then just continue here in this next stitch, and the repeat for the Tunisian crochet rib stitch is always the same in each round, so this is quite awesome. We always start with a Tunisian simple stitch, so go in that front bar, yarn over and pull up a loop. Now we are going to set things up. I mean, here's the next vertical bar. We are now going to make a Tunisian full stitch in front of that bar, and then another Tunisian full stitch after that bar. So we are just going to skip that here to pull those 2 loops up. And in the next vertical bar, we are then going to make a Tunisian simple stitch again. Then again, we make the 2 full stitches on both sides of the next vertical bar. So take your hook, pull it through, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then we go in the next and pull up a loop, and then afterwards we have another Tunisian simple stitch. After that, the 2 full stitches in the front and in the back of the next vertical bar, and so on. You should end this row before you reach the last stitch right here, because we are also going to work in this stitch again. This is our border stitch, and the last stitch before that will be a full stitch. So like that, you can also check if you are correct in terms of stitch count, because as you can see, we are now going to increase basically every second stitch. And when we do the return pass, we are then going to decrease. But of course, I'll show you. So here was a Tunisian simple stitch, and now we make a full stitch before the next vertical bar and a full stitch after the next vertical bar, and then the next simple stitch, and so on. And I'll meet you at the end of this round. I know it's a bit confusing, but it will all make sense, I promise. And here's our last one, a full stitch and another full stitch to finish it. And now we have basically the border stitch where I have my stitch marker in. So I'm going in with the hook, yarn over and pull it through, and now I can also release my stitch marker. Because this was our very first round or row of the Tunisian rib stitch. And now we can start with the return pass, and the return pass from now on for the rib stitch is a little bit different. The first one is the same, so yarn over and pull through just one loop, and again grab the stitch marker and put it in that border stitch. And now the repeat for the return pass is a little bit different. So you yarn over, and then we start by going through 3 loops, then yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over, go through 3 loops, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 3. Going through 3 will decrease back our original stitch count. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, all the way to start the next round. And in the end, when you have just 3 loops left, and normally it should be a yarn over, pull through 2, and then you just have 2, so you can just do the 2 and not 3. So yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on your hook, and then again release the loop, go in the marked stitch, put the loop back on, and pull it through to finish the round. And now we just continue. I still have hope that there will be the green coming very soon, but I will just go on until I have the green, and so you see the repeat, because we are actually going to do the exact same thing now. So first up is a Tunisian simple stitch, go in the front bar, yarn over and pull it through. And now you can always see this little bulk where you have like 2 stitches pulled together, and you can also see it when you drag on it a little bit. Here you have the simple stitch, and in between are the 2 stitches. We are now going to make the full stitches just on both sides of this little bulk, because that in the end will create this knit-like texture and the V stitches in the front. So go right in the first space, yarn over, pull it through, and then in the back, yarn over, pull it through with a Tunisian full stitch, and then afterwards the Tunisian simple stitch. Now we have the next bulk right here. Make 2 Tunisian full stitches, and then simple stitch, full stitch, full, simple, full, full, simple, and guess what? We have the green. So again, for the last stitch, we just go in there, pull up a loop, release the stitch marker, and now we can go back. You will see the return pass now a bit clearer. So first up, yarn over and pull through 1 loop, and then again place the stitch marker where the stitch is, like that. And now we can start. Yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, all the way until you have 3 loops left. Then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And now again, release the loop, go in the end loop or in the end stitch, and just pull it through to start the next round. Here's how it looks. You can already see a little bit the texture of the ribbing, but I think I will just go on to show it to you, especially now with the green color. So in the first stitch, Tunisian simple stitch, and then here you can also see those 2 loops right here in black. We make a full stitch in front of that little group and a full stitch in the back of this little group before we then continue with the Tunisian simple stitch. Then again, full stitch, simple stitch, full, simple, and so on. And here we go, the last stitch. So I go in, yarn over, pull it through, release the stitch marker, and then we can start with the return pass. So yarn over, pull through 1, place the stitch marker, where is it? And then yarn over, pull through 3, yarn over, pull through 2, 3, 2, and again when you have 3 stitches left, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, release the loop, go in the marked stitch and just pull it through. And now we can continue. Now you also see the stitches much better. So in the first one, again, the Tunisian simple stitch, and then here's what I meant before with the bulk. This is like the V's. 8 full stitch in front of it, a full stitch in the back of it, and then Tunisian simple stitch. It's super easy. It just takes a little bit time. At least it was so in my brain to process this. But after that, this goes really fast and looks absolutely spectacular. And I will continue until basically I only have a little bit of yarn left to make the final border. And then this is all there is for the snood. So have fun, and I will meet you when I'm about to finish it. Happy Tunisian crocheting. Bye. And this was my last round. My yarn ball is super small, so I hope I can finish the snood with it. And now I'm going to show you how to finish your snood once you have that. And the first round that we are going to do is pretty similar to the rounds that we had before. We go in the first stitch, make a Tunisian simple stitch, and then we yarn over and pull through both of those loops just like a single crochet. For the next one, which was the upside down V, we are going from the side under both of these loops, yarn over, pull it through, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops again. And then again in the next Tunisian simple stitch and yarn over, pull it through, and then in the upside down V, the 2 together and single crochet, and we continue all along until we are back at the beginning. And at the end of the round, make sure to take out the stitch marker. And now we are going to skip this part right here, because this was basically where we dragged the loop over, we are now going to go in the very first stitch right here, and first we are going to slip stitch in that stitch, and now we are going to make single crochets all along, not only in the back loop only, but also in this very side loop here in the back as well. So yarn over, pull it through, and single crochet. So when you go in that single crochet, you always have this little loop right here, and we are taking both of them, the back loop and basically the behind loop, because this will give us a very kind of a solid finish. So again, through the two loops and not the front loop, all the way with single crochets. And here we go. Once you're at the end, make sure to cut the yarn. This is all I have left. A little bit of orange and a little bit of black. And then pull that loop through. Take your tapestry needle. And then we are not going to go in this very first stitch. We are going in the second from the front all the way. Don't pull too tight. And then we go with our tapestry needle from the top through the back loop and again through this side loop, and drag as long you have to until you get the typical stitch look at the top, and then flip your work and incorporate that yarn end wherever you want to put it. I will now just go along through some of those stitches. That will be enough. And then a few stitches back. And here we go. And then just cut it. And now basically the neck part is done of our snood. And as you can see, with this kind of a double single crochet round, you almost have no curling in the end, which is of course awesome. And then we go to the beginning, because we do have a yarn end here as well. I'm just going to pull that in, and I will just do another invisible finish with this. So here's where I am. Then I will just like pull that all somehow together. So that I get a nice beginning. Cut the yarn, because the snood is completed, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful, equally pretty like the one that I made during my holidays. I'm just obsessed with this pattern, with the look, with the drapiness. It's absolutely beautiful, and have fun making your own. So what do you think of my beautiful snood? Isn't it super simple and super easy? And you can't stop, and when the skein is over, the snood is done. How amazing is that? I'm absolutely obsessed with them, and I hope you are too, and I hope you will make yourself a snood as well, because honestly, now is the best time and the weather is perfect to wear a snood. And I hope to see you back again next time, only at the Totally Fierce Crochet channel, maybe again from the woods, maybe from somewhere else, maybe with a snood, maybe with another project. So, see you then. Bye! There were just two nice ladies walking by asking me, "What are you doing here?" Then I was like, "I'm filming for my YouTube channel." "Oh, you have a YouTube channel?" "Yes." And then I showed them the pieces and they're like, "Oh, that's so nice. Can I buy one?" And I'm like, "No, those are all mine." You always meet the nicest and funniest people when you're out there filming. Just saying.